Hello, hello, hello everybody. This is Siran, and today I'm gonna give a very brief demonstration about workshop 4. And the workshop, the video would be two parts. First, I will go through the coding parts to go through everything about the workshop. Second part, I'll be running the program in console to have a little bit of testing. First, we can see this workshop is actually um, follow the instruction by the document. We create a hierarchy about different classes. We got an interface and different type of employees, and both employee and invoice implements this payable interface. And let me go first. So this is a payable interface. We have two abstract methods called get payment amount and display payment amount. It's very straightforward. For the invoice, we can see it implements payable, and this is a constructor. As we can see, there's the validation here to check out the parameter about quantity and the price. So if the parameter is invalid, there will throw exception here, illegal argument exception, to tell the user quantity and the price must greater than 0. And of course, override the payment amount, override the display, and override the toString. That's pretty straightforward, and there's some getter functions. For the employee class, this is an abstract class with constructor, override the toString method, but it did not define these two methods from the interface. So this makes it a abstract class, and there are 4 different subclasses above the employee. 4 type of employees. First, we get a salary employee. We get a weekly salary attribute and a constructor. Here we override the toString to show the information. Override the get payment amount times 2 because it's a weekly salary. So we are talking about bi-weekly payroll, so it's times 2, and override the display amount. Very simple. Hourly employee have different attributes of wage and hours. So here we can see similar to that, we have a validation about wage and hour, checking if the wage and hour parameter is in range. If not, there will be a throw exception here, and getter functions override toString, override both payment amount, display amount, and you can see to calculate the payment amount, we actually check if the working hour is over 40 hours or not. If over 40 hours, the exceed hours will be charged extra to calculate the total amount. So that's pretty straightforward. That's for the hourly employee. Commission employee, similar with different attributes, gross sales and commission rate. Same validation here. Same thing for the override with different calculation. So get payment amount is the total sales times times commission rate. Lastly, we have a base plus commission employee that extends as the subclass of a commission employee with extra attribute called base salary. So we get a setter function here to increase the salary by 10% as required. Actually, it's not 10%. In this case, the parameter we set is 10%, but it can increase by any percentage if you like. Override the toString and override the get payment amount. Here we can see the payment amount is actually biweekly base salary times 2, and we call the superclass method get payment amount to calculate the total commission. So total commission plus total base salary, it will be the total amount for this particular type of employee. So right now we already have everything here defined and implemented in the coding. Next, we're going to create a payroll object, a payroll class. the payroll class is more like a payroll system to tracking, storing everything user select, and to responsible for the process of the operation of the payroll system. So basically, we save reference of different type of object into payable array. So they're using the same type, payable type, and also have an integer counter to tracking the length of the actual length of the array. So by default, the constructor will set the length to 30, because the static constant will be set to 30. And we have two methods called add invoice and add employee. Pretty much the same. They have the same idea. The method is actually receiving inputs from user and to process their input and create a new object into the array and display the object. And we can see that, for example, add a new employee. We're gonna let user to enter some key information about the username and first name, last name, social security number, etc. And there will be no validation here because it's a string format. We accept any kind of string format. So in the try block, we can see there's a switched block here to check out if the user select different type of selection to create different type of employment. So for example, if user selects 3, we will create the hourly salary information. We will give them information about hourly salary and working hours. Also, we have a constructor to create a new hourly employee object. So during this process, there could be invalid input by user, so we cache this input by this exception, input mismatch. And also after that, doing the constructor, there possibly be invalid arguments in the parameter. So we're catching this one as well. We got illegal argument exception E, and we handle the exception. Also, we have another catch block to handle the index out of boundary exception in case the length of the array exceeded the limit if the user is keep adding new object to the list. So we will let the user know the payroll list is full. After that, we just use the toString method to print out the message and display the total amount. Another function called menu. This one is pretty straightforward. This just simply a menu display in the console, and user can select from option 1 to 6 and we call different methods based on their selection, and also we are tracking or validating their inputs. So that's pretty much for the payroll class. Here in the test, we're gonna have a little bit testing on the program. Here we can see now we already got a welcome to payroll system, this menu. Let's first try some invalid input like a string here, so it tells me the invalid. So let me continue on that. If I select number 9, although we already have 1 to 6, it tells me another invalid selection here. Please try again. Okay, let's select number 1. Invoice number 123, 123 DE, and the quantity let me tell 0. Price is 0. There is an exception here. Quantity and the price must greater than 0. We already triggered the exception in the constructor, so we are unable to add this invoice to the system. So let me try again. 123, 123 D1. Quantity, let's say 10. Price is 5. So here we can see this. This is the valid invoice information, and the total amount is $50. And let's continue to do that. Salary, employee name, Saran, social security number. So it tells us that this employee type is a fixed salary employee, so weekly salary I say 400. And that gives us the bi-weekly payroll slip about this employee, and the payment information about this particular type. Let me continue on that. Hourly wage. Hourly wage, let's say with $15. Working hour, let's say 200 hours. Okay, there's an exception again when calling the constructor, because working hour must be between 0 to 168. So I'm able to handle this one. So let me try again. $15. Let's say 150 hours. Okay, that gives me the correct information about this payroll slip. Okay, let me continue to the next section. So commission rate, employee. Information already comes first. So let me say commission rate. Let's say we all know commission rate can only be between 0 to 1. So if I say 2.5, 1,000 sales, there'll be a exception here called commission rate must be between 0 to 1, and I'm able to handle this choice, so I have to do that again. Let's jump into number 5, commission rate and the base employee. So my name. So commission rate, let's set to 0.5. Gross sales is 1,000 as well. Base salary is $200. Say, so it give us the biweekly payroll slip like information. Commission is sales and commission rate 0.5, and the base is $220 because we have a 10% raise in the base salary, so the total amount is $950. That will be for this one. So we already tried 1 to 5 different type of objects. The last one I'm gonna press 6 to print all the items. So basically that will be print all the items that I just created in the array, and to give a very comprehensive looking about the payroll, it's just recorded. So that's about it. No, that's exit the menu. Yes, so the payroll system closed. Okay, that's pretty much how the program looks like. Please do let me know if there's any bugs or errors, or any questions. I'll be happy to explain more about that. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you.